We'll get started. Okay, we are recording. And does anybody have a bid that's due at 5 today or first thing in the morning? Somebody in a rush needs to start first? Anybody got a question or a solicitation proposal, bid they want to work on today?
Well, John, if you can find that one that either I emailed the RP or that RP Campbell pulled out, that
What email did it
if
come
you can
from?
just go over what.
What email did you send it from?
It was either from Aubrey Campbell or coming from, which is, I think the email account is Toon Daddy, Toon Daddy, DADDIE. At AOL.
This one right here with the standard form?
Yes, that one. Correct.
Okay, what was your question?
If you can just go over phase one, it actually will be on page, I got it written down here. It will be on page 39, subsection L.
There's only 2 pages here.
You only have 2 pages? Let's see. I'm going off of what he told me he wanted me to ask you to go over. I think he said phase one was something that he's pretty sure he knows how to do. But I kind of wanted to take a glance at it myself to kind of understand it. And then I think phase two is probably more the one that has more of the heavier stuff in it.
That's opportunity number is not even showing as archived, so it might be wrong opportunity number as well. So to find out, I'm going to Google it and see if it exists in Google. If it doesn't exist in Google, it's got to be a typo or something. Okay, the fact that it doesn't even show up in Google means it's not a valid solicitation number. Because if it was a valid solicitation number, it would show up somewhere in Google. There's a lot of systems that pull information from FBO. You know what I mean? Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello?
I hear you, John.
Okay. Yeah, if that...
We hear you, John.
Sorry, I'm looking for my mute button. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can pull up my email to find the actual one that I have.
Okay.
He probably put a typo in on that one.
Okay, we can come back to you.
Okay.
Anybody else have a question or a bid, solicitation, proposal you want to work on today?
Hey, good afternoon, John. It's Mohan.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, I sent you an email yesterday, but there was a solicitation that I wanted to go over from there. My email is Mike November, Krishna, Krishna. Yep, that one there.
This one right here?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Got the link. Take us right to it. Awesome. iPad Air 2, 32 gigabytes. All right, what was your question on it?
Well, the thing is, I'm trying to look at the documents. None of the documents downloads. Yes, this is exactly what happened for me. I was just wondering if there was a settings that I needed to change or something. Everything I looked at, that's what I was getting.
No, it looks like they've deleted the pages for some reason.
Okay.
Only thing you can do in this case is email the purchasing agent and tell them that you're trying to view the information for that opportunity solicitation number, and it's saying that the pages don't exist.
Right, because it still had a lot more days for a response date, so I was just kind of scratching my head exactly what was going on.
They might have put them up and did something wrong, and someone pointed that out, so they took them down so they could modify them, and then they'll put them back up.
Okay.
Did you put it on your watch list?
Yes.
All right. As long as it's on your watch list, you should be notified when they up the documents.
Okay. And another question I had was there was another solicitation that I was looking at, and basically asked for an MPIN number, which I did put in. But from my understanding, when you put an MPIN number, you don't automatically download the file. It just gives them, hey, request the information. They can either deny or not deny that for them to send you the file. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're not going to deny it based on your MPIN or anything like that. They just want to see your MPIN to verify who you are, so that when they allow you access to it, they can say, well, we gave access to this company's here specifically.
Okay, got it.
Anything that's like armed security, you're going to have documents like that where you can't just download them. You have to prove who you are before you can access the documents. Anything with any level of security, top secret, obviously you can't do that as well.
Okay.
Anybody else got a question, solicitation, proposal?
Hey, John, this is Matthew.
Yes.
I sent an email earlier to you and Angela about the wide area workflow. I was going through their machine requirements, and they were saying you need Windows Vista or 10 to run their software. So I'm going to have those operating systems like on a laptop in order to do the wide area workflow, right?
I think so eventually, because irapt is a new system and it's taken over for wide area workflow, and they probably haven't worked the bugs out yet, so they're making everybody use Windows for now until they get the bugs worked out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else got a bid, a solicitation, proposal to work on?
I do.
Another quick question, John, about the HubZone. It says 35% of your employees have to live in a HubZone. That means they could live anywhere in the country, but as long as they live in a HubZone, you're good, right?
Correct. Does not have to be the HubZone that you're in. It can be in any HubZone.
In any HubZone. Okay, cool.
Unless if you don't have employees, then you're 100% of your employees, so you're going to have to live in and work out of a HubZone. So in that case, you're better off working out of your house if your house is in a HubZone.
Right, right. Awesome, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions, bids, solicitation, proposal you want to work on today?
I do, John.
Whenever you guys got something to work on, just let me know. We'll give it a few more minutes. This training just started. Not everybody's logged in yet.
Can you hear me?
John, I have a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you do any freight broker? Do you do any freight broker training?
I have worked with freight brokers on contracts. Absolutely.
Okay. But do you do any training on it yourself?
Most of my training covers pretty much anything. It's not specific, but if you ever have something that in the group session you want to go through as far as freight brokering, you just let me know. It's not a problem.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Also, John, I sent you a couple of videos. I knew you were out on the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that went very well.
It did.
I wanted to know if you received the videos.
What email did you send them from?
GYB Transport. Yep, that's it.
Got it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else got a solicitation, proposal, or bid to work on?
Hey, John, this is Beth again. Another quick question. Say, for example, you put in a bid for like a couple of vehicles, like Ford trucks or something, and you put a really good proposal together and submit it. Have you ever heard of anybody actually like calling up the purchasing agent afterwards, trying to sell them on why they should go with them?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a double-edged sword. It could work, and it might blow up in your face, too.
Okay.
You know, a lot of times they're going to tell you, well, we've got your documents, and we're going to review them, and we'll get back to you. But sometimes you're running to purchasing agents that are really nice. You know, I last week before I left, one of the trainings I went through was talking about, you know, making these phone calls and introducing yourself. And sometimes you're going to run into people that are going to tell you you're wasting your time. And one of the clients said, yeah, I've made quite a few of those calls and got some really good responses. So it's you know, it can go either way. Being too friendly can be a problem, but being just friendly enough, you know, it's a fine line.
Right. Yeah, because I was thinking about doing that with one contract I submitted last Wednesday for 2 vans, and it was like a $228,000 bid, and they haven't awarded it yet. I haven't seen anything happen with it yet, and I was thinking about, and I wasn't able to put together a really good technical proposal at all, and that's why I was asking, because I was thinking about just giving them a call and saying, hey, I submitted that bid.
Right.
And I just wanted to tell you real quick that this is what it is, and it's really good, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can't. Sometimes you can call them and it's beneficial, but usually better off just waiting.
Okay. All right. I thought I'd ask. Thank you.
John, I have a question.
Yes.
So the list that they gave for our contractors under our NAICS code for our website, should we actually be calling those, you know, making ourselves, you know, known and available to those people under that contract?
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it could sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. You got to remember, when it comes to purchasing agents, they're going to do things based on their interpretation of the system. Like a prime example of that, I actually just wrote a video about it 10 minutes before I got on the phone with you guys. Purchasing agents and even government agencies like the SBA, the Small Business Association, some people at the SBA are telling women that they need to register for the woman-owned small business. And these women are putting certifications on their website saying they're woman-owned. And that's not the correct term. It's woman-owned. And when people are like, well, how do you know this? You're Mr. Know-It-All. How do you know this? I use facts. If you go to FBO and search under the, go to Find Opportunities, go to the Advanced Search, and go to the set-asides. Do you see a woman, W-O-M-E-N, owned business in here? No, there's no such thing. It's the incorrect term. But purchasing agents use it all the time. So a lot of times that boils down to their perception of the system and how it's used.
Okay, I was just wondering what the, you know, when I got my website, they sent me a list of, you know, contractors under the NAICS codes that I had applied, put on my website.
Yes.
And I was just wondering if I needed to call or, you know.
Yeah, I would call them. I'd email them your cap statement, call them, let them know you emailed them your cap statement, hit them with your elevator pitch, ask them what you can do to earn their business. Absolutely. The more people you get in front of, the more contracts you submit, the more opportunities you're going to win. It's that simple.
Okay, that's what I have to come up with, my elevator pitch.
Yeah, write one and send it to me, and I'll approve it before you start using it. And I can tell you from experience, I worked with a construction company a while ago, and one day on the training, they're like, look, man, we've been making these calls. We're not getting anywhere. I think we're going to give up on the calls and just focus on bids. And I said, well, you know, I can lead your brain to water, but I can't make it think. If you're not going to do things my way, that's fine. I can't force you. But, you know, I'm telling you to do things for a reason because it works, you know. And he's like, well, it's just we made a lot of phone calls and we're getting a lot of negativity from these guys. A lot of them are just saying straight up, you're wasting your time. You know, we don't do business this way. Everything we do goes out for bid. And I said, I understand that. And I told you in the beginning you're going to run into a lot of resistance. But it's statistics. You just got to run the numbers. And he said, all right, well, we're going to give it a shot a little bit more this week and see how it goes. A couple of days later, he called back and he's like, man, you were right. We kept at it. We ran the numbers and we got a few people that were very positive, and we already got one deal worked out, signed the contract today. We're working on another one tomorrow. We got another meet next week. If you run the numbers, you're going to find business. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, I got you. I'm here to follow you, so you don't have to worry about me not doing what you said. So I'm here to follow.
You'd be amazed how many people don't, and blatantly tell me, I don't want to do it your way because I think blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Just, you know, don't get mad at me when it doesn't work out the way you want it to, and you come back and say, how was I supposed to do that again, you know?
Yeah, I kind of tend to stick with experience. I'm not experienced in this area. This is your lane, so I'm following the leader.
I got a client that decided he didn't want to use the free website we include with our training program or with our SAP program. And I understand where he's coming from, but his website isn't working in the federal system. So, I mean, that's the reason why we include a free websites, because most websites aren't viewable. And that's exactly what's happening, you know?
Right, I understood.
It's all good. People come around eventually.
Thanks, John.
No problem. Anybody else have a question, solicitation, proposal, bid you want to work on?
Hey, John, this is Matt. I just want to introduce myself. We're brand new, 303 software.
Okay.
Glad you're here.
You can, anytime you want to work on a solicitation or a proposal or a bid or something like that, the best way to do it while you're in FBO, while you're actually looking at it. So let's say, for example, let me find one real quick. So let's say, for example, you're looking at this one and you're interested in learning more. Copy the address up here straight out of the browser, and just drop me a quick email, you know, and say, hey, John Wayne, this one. And that way, when we get in on the training and you say, okay, I emailed you from this email address, I can just go in and cut and paste it right into FBO, and it'll take me straight to the opportunity. Or if you just have a question or something like that, I mean, you can join any day and just listen to it if you want. You know, you don't have to wait until you've got something.
What's the schedule for you? Is it every day at this time?
Every day at this time. Every day from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm available through GoToMeeting. And I make sure that so that you guys always have access to me.
And it's always the same invite, the one we just joined with today,
Never.
right?
No, every day it's a new invite. So you have to email me each day.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. And what is your email address?
J as in John, Wayne, W-A-Y-N-E. And it's the same domain as your case manager and your account rep and everybody else. It's usf.gov.com.
Okay. Okay.
John, this is Samina. I have a question. Actually, a couple of days back, I sent it to you, my capability statement.
Yes.
And I did not response about that. So please can you let me know if it is good or if needs improvement.
What's your email?
My name is Samina at ed-solutions.com. Yep.
Oh, you emailed me Sunday. I'm sorry. I've been out of town all week for a convention. So let's take a look at it. Wow, it's really wordy. You need a one-page cap statement. So this is fine for when someone's asking for a little more detail, but you need to take some of this out, get rid of some of this, and get it down to one page. I don't mean one page front and back. I mean just one page.
John, this is one page and this is front and back.
Right, but sometimes they're going to ask you for one page, and it'll specifically say one page means one side. Two front and back means two page. And they're going to specifically ask you for a one page, which means only one side.
Okay, and John, I want to know about the elevator pitch. Like, what particularly will be the elevator pitch?
Your elevator pitch should be short, sweet, and to the point. It should be 15 to 20 seconds. So for your elevator pitch would be you introduce yourself. Don't tell them that you're the owner or the CEO. You just say, you know, I'm so-and-so, I'm with Z.S.A. We're a woman-owned small business, minority, veteran-owned, whatever set-aside you qualify for. You give them a quick synopsis of what you do and maybe one thing that makes you better than your competition. Always talk about we and us, so it doesn't sound like you're a one-person show. And you want to get that point across within 15 to 20 seconds. If anybody who's not talking, if you guys could pause your phone, I'm hearing a lot of background noise. Sounds like someone's folding a paper airplane on the speaker of their phone. You want to get your point across in your elevator pitch within the first 10, 15, 20 seconds, 25 seconds at the most, and ask them what you can do during their business. The reason why you want to do it so quickly is because you're going to run into a lot of people that you're not going to find any business by calling them. They don't do business that way. So you don't want to sit there and talk to them and chew their ear off for 2 minutes for them to finally say, well, ma'am, we don't do business that way. You're wasting your time. You want to get it across 10, 15, 20 seconds, 25 seconds at the most. Ask them what you can do during their business. They'll either tell you they put everything out for bid, or they'll say, well, send me a copy of your cap statement. Well, we already did a few minutes ago. On the training I did Friday, I think it was Monday, before I left, there was one guy was saying, you know, he talked to several people that day, and they were all very positive. One woman shared his cap statement with other agencies and was emailing stuff back to them saying, take a look at this and check out this opportunity. And so it's just a numbers game. But you want a quick, short, brief elevator pitch so you can get through those calls quickly. And send me a copy of it, and I'll let you know what I think. All right?
Sure. Thank you.
I can tell you, as far as this cap statement that you have here, it's good. It's very nicely laid out. It's very professional looking, but you're going to need a one-pager. And most purchasing agents aren't going to read all this stuff. They're going to glance over it.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of questions I should ask to them?
You know, questions geared towards what can we do to earn your business, or how can I make your purchasing process easier? You know, one of the subjects I covered in my presentation is stop making it so difficult for people to do business with you. It's amazing how many small business owners that when I talk to them, they're like, all right, well, what's your process for someone to hire you? Well, first they have to go to our website and fill out a form, and then they got to come by and sign a document, and then we got to go out and meet with their blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you got 5 steps that are required before they can even give you a check. You know, you need to simplify that process. Make it easier for them to hire you.
Mm-hmm.
The easier it is for people to hire you, the more people are going to hire you. It's you know, it's that simple.
But John, we do have a lot of business out there which is exactly matches with our capability and our past performance, but just a little bit here and there, and that's what we do not submit. So I don't know from where to get the right partner. So is there any particular website where I can get the right partner, or what is the way I can get the, you know, the other partner?
You know, there's 2 things. Number one, with your MBE and your ED w.o.s.b, you should be doing a ton of subcontract business to primes. Both of those 2 certifications can get you a lot of sub work, and primes need to hire MBEs and ED w.o.s.bs, and it's hard for them to do so because there's so few of you guys that are compliant. So that'd be one area to expand upon, and you can get that information directly out of the SBA's subnet website.
John?
Yes.
So we have a specialized website for doing business with the federal government. We need a one-page capabilities document. What else do we need in terms of collateral that we should have at our fingertips?
That's a good question. Let me finish answering her question and I'll cover that one.
Okay.
So if you go to subnet and you go to the search block, you can search the database when it works, when it wants to work. There we go. You can search it by keyword or by NAICS code for IT. You can search it by state. And this will show you contracts that are open for primes to hire you as a subcontractor. So under computer, there's probably a good, based on what I'm seeing here, probably a good couple of hundred of opportunities in here, primes, that are looking for subcontractors to provide some type of computer services. You know, but you can be real specific to NAICS code or a more specific keyword, etc. As far as partnering, you know, you're better off, instead of partnering a business, you're better off hiring them as a sub and still maintaining control. Because if you're going to partner, you're going to do a teaming agreement or something like that, you really need an attorney to go through all that documentation and paperwork and make sure that they can't take advantage of you, you know, as far as the teaming agreement or the partnership. I've seen people that got into partnerships or teaming agreements with other companies that knew what they were doing, and you know, these people didn't, and they got taken advantage of. So you're always better off hiring another company as a subcontractor than teaming with them, unless you're going to get an attorney to review the documentation and make sure you've covered your keister. You know, you got to.
John already learned this one in a hard way, so I know that part.
You know exactly what I'm saying then, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad, but yeah, you're better off hiring them as a sub than doing that and taking that risk. Okay, so what do you need to be successful with the federal government? In the grand scheme of things, I'll go through the process like for a startup. So to be successful with the federal government, you obviously need to watch my videos, sign up for the training. You got to register with the state as either a DBA, an S Corp, or an LLC, or a C Corp, something like that. Have a business checking account, sign up for merchant accounts. You can take credit cards, register with Dun & Bradstreet. If you're smart, like she was, register with the DOT as a DBE or a disadvantaged business or minority-owned or woman-owned through the DOT, because these are registrations that, again, primes will just hire you simply because you have those. And you guys are probably doing a lot of work already as a subcontractor through primes because you hold those certifications.
Is there should we do with the DOT if we don't have any of those certifications?
No, you need to qualify for it. You're either going to have to be a veteran or woman or minority to qualify for those.
Okay, so we can skip that.
Yeah, you could be the disadvantaged, I believe based on, I think, no, you can't do a disadvantage either. You have to have some type of minority or woman or veteran set aside to qualify.
Yeah. Okay.
And I actually just went through the SBA's website today on that because they had some information that was incorrect. And I saved it somewhere. Oh, I saved it in... Saved it somewhere. I'll have to find it.
Okay. What does this mean, register with any prime?
Okay, so the DOT registration is through the Department of Transportation. This is a state registration. We don't do state registrations because if we did, we'd literally have to have a specialist in every county in the U.S., and there's thousands of counties in the U.S. So this you would have to do on your own. I believe there are companies out there that charge for it, but before you pay them, let me know, and I'll check and make sure they're legitimate. Register with primes through their website as a subcontractor. Just like I just showed you through the SBA's website through Subnet, you can register in here and you can sign up, or you can contact primes through here to work with them as a subcontractor. Some of these guys will direct you to their website, and there'll be a link on their website where it says small business subcontractors, sign up here. If they don't have a link, like all the Fortune 500 companies have links on their website where you can register as a subcontractor. I mean, almost all of them, probably 99% of them, because they have to hire small businesses and women and minorities and veterans all the time. So they have a database where you can sign up. If they don't, the person you're looking for is what's called an SBLO, a Small Business Liaison Officer. That's the person who's usually in charge of hiring small businesses, and they're also the person that's in charge of showing in the ESRS how much money they paid small businesses. The ESRS is the Electronic Subcontract Reporting System, and that's where they show who they've paid what, and you have to have an MPIN in order for them to do that, so you have to be registered in SAM for you to do that. And then a lot of the Fortune 500 companies, you can register right on their website. All these acronyms are on your list of acronyms. If you guys didn't get an email of that, let me know after the training, and I'll send you a copy of the acronyms list as well.
Okay.
John, do you have list those companies?
What's that?
Do you have the list of those companies? Those have small business liaisons office, or you know?
The SBA used to have a list of them on their website, and they took them down because the list was pretty old. The list was quite inaccurate, so they deleted it. So the only list that's left is these primes that are posting these subcontract opportunities.
Mm-hmm. So better to check their websites and search for the SBL link.
Correct. Yep. So once you register with all the primes as a subcontractor, which could take a while, there's tens of thousands of primes out there, if not hundreds of thousands of primes. You can register with your state as a vendor. You can register with your county as a vendor, and you can register with your city as a vendor if you want to do state, county, and city government contracts. They're typically more difficult than federal government contracts, but it's another opportunity. I strongly suggest you go ahead and register with your state, local, and government disaster divisions, because this is a good way to get in with FEMA. When that flooding happened in South Carolina last year, a little longer than that, the state of South Carolina certified themselves as a disaster. So the state started hiring disaster recovery contractors immediately. FEMA took a day or two to declare it. But once FEMA declared it, and the state already had contractors there, when FEMA showed up, they kept most of the contractors that were already there in place. So because those contractors were signed up with the state or the local or county government and were hired by them first, FEMA kept them. So it's a real easy way to get in with FEMA. You guys probably remember when Katrina happened, it was two things. It was people that it took us days to save, and that's because a lot of purchases were made through the purchase process, which was time consuming. That's why a lot of the contracts FEMA does now are done as simplified acquisitions. And it was also vendors that just drove out there and said, we're here to work. And some of them got work and some of them didn't. And some of them who didn't get work were mad because they spent all that gas and time driving out there and were told to turn around and go back. And that's because that's not the way the system works. You can't just show up. You have to be registered with FEMA, and FEMA has to need you. So by pre-registering with your state, local government, and city government disaster recovery divisions and having them hire you, it's a good way to get in with FEMA. The other additional steps you're going to want to do, obviously getting registered in SAM, CCR, ORCA, and the DSBS, registering with FEMA themselves, creating your capability statement, your elevator pitch, registering for simplified acquisitions, having a website, especially one that works through federal firewalls, registering as a HubZone vendor if you're in one and 35% of your employees live in it. After being in business at least 1 year and you have a balanced portfolio of clients, you might qualify for the 8A. You definitely want to set them for wide area workflow or irapt in case they need to pay you that way. And getting registered as a woman and a veteran can be beneficial. And in the long term, a G.S.A. schedule can be very beneficial as well. But this is a long-term solution, like your 8A. It's not a short-term solution. All right.
You'll send me this email. I'll give you my email address. What is BA? BA? There was one.
DSBS? Where did you see it at?
It was on the last. It was yeah. It was keep going now.
John, you're a heck of a multitasker.
Thanks. Was it on this list here?
That was if you have 1 year in business, if you qualify for, what is that?
8A.
Oh, 8A.
8A.
Gotcha. 8A is for 8A is for people that have been discriminated against. So number one, you have to be a veteran or minority or woman to qualify. 8A is a 9-year program. It's huge. There's very little competition in the 8A program. So if you do qualify, it's something that you're going to want in the long term. For example, as far as set-asides are concerned, there's 70,000 women fighting over this 5%, but there's only 5,300 8As fighting over the same 5%. You got 40,000 veterans sharing that 5%, but only 5,300 8As sharing that 5%. So it's a good set-aside to have once you're ready. But you don't want to go after it until you are ready, because if you self-certify and you do it wrong, you can't come to me and pay me to do it later. I have to wait a whole year if you've been declined or decertified. I'll show you the requirements here in a second. Okay, so HubZone set aside. You got to be a small business. You got to be a U.S. citizen. You got to be, your office has to be in a HubZone. 35% of your employees have to live in a HubZone. You can't have been declined or decertified. So you can do this as a startup. There's very little requirements on the HubZone. 8A, on the other hand, we have to prove a social disadvantage. You have to be either a minority or a woman or a veteran. We have to prove somehow that your race, culture, or some other factor has created a situation where you've been discriminated against. Your personal net worth has to be under $250,000, not including your house. You can live in the Taj Mahal, but your personal net worth, your personal net worth has to be under $250,000. So that takes into account any personal asset: checks, cash, bonds, real estate, deer lease, RVs, motorcycles, all that stuff. Now, if you're over that, you can put some of that stuff into your business asset, because the business assets can be up to $4 million. Or if you got kids and you were going to give them some stuff in the will anyway, you can give it to them and take it out of your personal asset. You have to be the highest paid person in the company. Your total assets has to be under $4 million. You can't have made more than $250,000 a year for the last 3 years average. You have to be a citizen, small business. You have to socially and economically control the business. You have to be a majority owner. We have to show that you have a balanced portfolio of clients. If you only have one client, you're not going to qualify for an 8A because you're too risky. You have to have at least three clients or more, and we have to show that it's a balanced portfolio. You have to be in business at least 1 year, because we have to have 1 year's tax returns to start processing it. It takes a year to process. So by the time we process this, year 2, you'll have your second tax return. We can finalize it. You have to devote yourself to the business full time. You have to have good moral character. You can't have a lot of felonies on your record. You got to stay out of trouble. You can't have unpaid federal obligations like student loans or bank notes. And we have to show that you're financially stable. So if we can prove all 15 core eligibility requirements, you can qualify for the 8A. And it's a 9-year program. It's huge.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You got it.
John, hey, John, I have one question. I'm over here at 303
Yes.
Software, too. When we were seeing that main list of just what it takes to qualify in an email a moment ago, we were talking about primes. You mentioned like a subcontractor that could help you get registered with the prime, like an FCLA or some weird thing like that. Could you talk about that one more time?
I honestly don't think I understood your question. Say it again.
When we were talking about getting registered with primes a moment ago, you mentioned there was some sort of subcontractor that could help you get registered with all those in bulk. That's what I thought I heard.
Oh, you mean the MBE and the DBE?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Each, because the DOT, the MBE and the DBE are DOT, Department of Transportation is a federal agency, but it works with state agencies and local government, and the DOT oversees the state agencies and the local government agencies and the county and the city agencies, and making sure that they adhere to the federal requirements for transportation. So to register as an MBE and a DBE, because those are through the DOT, you have to do it in your state, and each state is different. Each county and each city and each local government has different rules and requirements. That's why I was saying we don't do those, because if we did, we'd have to have a specialist in every county. The only thing you can do to find those is go to Google. Pick out your city and your state and put in the certification and search it and see if there are any ads that come up. Anything that comes up top that says ad next to it is a paid. Those are usually companies that charge a fee. In this case, you could go to austintexas.gov, and it has a disadvantaged business enterprise article on it. And this article might refer you to people that are approved by the city of Austin as DOT providers, and they can do it for a fee. And there's certification for DBE as well. MBE, WE, DBE. Those are all governments. So this one, these guys might charge a fee for it. They're a .org. They're not a .gov. Mobileauthority.com. These guys might do it for a fee. So the only way to find a company that would do it for you like that is to just Google it and then send the links to me, and I can research them and make sure they're legitimate.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Any other questions?
Hey, John, this is Sergio.
Yes.
I just sent you an email from Federal Procurement Solutions. That statement, yeah. Could you open that up? I just threw that together this morning. Do you have any tips to make it any better? Or?
That's a good start. Keep it simple. You know, honestly, the less you have on here, the easier it is for them to review it real quick, the better off you are. Because purchasing agents aren't going to read a lot of stuff. You know, I tell you guys all the time, humans in general are lazy. And, you know, some federal purchasing agents, they're going to do as little as they can to do their job, which is just people in general, you know. So you need something that says references available upon request. You got your contact, and let me make this thing bigger so I'm not straining. Yeah, I'd put a little more fill in here and make it one page, and you're good. All right.
What do you mean by like?
Just a little more so you don't have this blank section down here.
Oh, I see what you mean. I drop those down and maybe add another little paragraph in there.
You could add your logo. You could put your logo up here above and push everything down. That would bring everything down here and just have your logo up top, you know, decent size.
Okay.
All right.
And, you know, when I did the website, they asked if I wanted them to design a logo for me, and I said yes, and I haven't seen what that is.
Cool. Yeah, just email them. Just email the website guy. He'll send it over to you. They're pretty efficient.
Awesome. Thank you.
You got it. Anybody else have a question, solicitation, bid?
Hey, John, this is Sergio. I just sent you an email not too long ago. Sergio Esmeralda. I just need help. I'm trying to put the bid in, and I just need help filling out the form.
What email did you send it from?
Sergio.esmeralda.
There it is. All right, what questions do you have?
Okay, so how would I fill this form out?
So you're going to start with your discount terms. So you're going to give them discount for prompt payment, which means if they pay you within 10 calendar days, you're going to give them X number of percentage discount. I honestly wouldn't give them a discount past 20 days because they have to pay you within 15 to 30 regardless.
Okay.
And then you're going to fill out name of quoter. You're going to put in your cage code, address, county, city, state, zip, sign, name, print, title, area code, phone number, date of quotation. And then they're going to have you submit that form through DIBS.
Okay.
DIBS is the DLA's internet bid board system. So this is a Defense Logistics Agency's purchase. And when they direct you to DIBS or to ASVAC or to NAVCO or to FedBid or FedConnect, those things are pretty much idiot-proof because they're going to step-by-step tell you have to upload this document. And then once you upload that document and it's verified that that document's uploaded and it's properly done, then it'll ask you to upload the next document. It gives you step-by-step instructions.
Okay.
So these are typically pretty easy. They're giving you examples of what they paid for that product in the past, unit cost that they've paid, number of quantities that they've purchased, and they're even giving you the cage codes of the suppliers that have sold it to them in the past. So this is your competition.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
All right. Thank you, John.
Anybody else got a bid?
John?
Yes.
John, this is Stefan. I just sent you an email from 303 Software. It just was our contact information. If you could add that to your mailing today. Thank you.
To the email that I sent out already?
Yeah, I don't think we were on your initial list. Angela just added us late.
No problem.
Thank you.
You got it.
John, I have a question about the OSTBOs, and like first of all, I want to know that what is the difference between OSTBO and a small business representative?
What's the first word you're saying?
Office of Small Business Disadvantaged Business Utilization. OSTBO.
Spell that for me.
OSDBU. Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization.
Is that the ombudsman?
I don't hear about OSTBO very often. That's why I had to ask you to spell it out. It's a lot of times they're used to get veterans jobs, you know, as an employee. But those contracts are put through FBO regardless, so. All right. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, they have programs that'll teach veterans how to use the system and how to get a job and stuff like that, but you guys are already registered, and you can take the time to go down there and sit and meet with a representative, or you can do it with me over the GoTo meeting. You know, keep it simple.
John, actually, OSTBOs, they, all of the agencies, all of the departments, they have OSTBOs. Like 8A representative is separate, woman-owned is separate, and sometimes they have only one w.o.s.b over there. And this is actually officer like who helps small businesses to get in,
Right.
and they about the capability statement, and sometimes they ask you, okay, present, give us a presentation like what you are doing and such kind of things. But all of the departments, they have their own w.o.s.b.
Right. But the contracts that they're going to refer you to are in FBO anyway, so.
If, that is why that is what I want to ask. Like, they will refer us or no?
It's a conflict of interest for them to refer you or to hire you. So they're still they're gonna teach you and hold your hand, but they're gonna still tell you to get registered and bid on stuff through FBO. All right. I would tell you to utilize any resource you have available. But to tell you to go down and take 36 weeks of PTAC classes so they can teach you how to register in SAM when you're already registered in SAM is kind of ludicrous, you know?
Hey, John, it's Mohan. I sent you an email in regards to my cap statement. Can you just look it up? Look it over.
What was yours? MN?
Yep. MN. Yep.
Okay. I like it personally. I love the layout and the design. It's very, very chic looking. It's very professional looking, but there's two things. You're going to need a one page. So you're going to need to combine this and get rid of some of the graphics and make one that's just one-sided, one page. And the other thing too is you want to limit the amount of color you're using, because when you use a gray background and someone needs to print this, they're using a lot of their ink cartridge to print this. Just so it's visually pleasing. And some purchasing agents don't care about, I say buttons and kittens and butterflies. I was going to say buttons and kitterflies. Some purchasing agents don't care about kittens and butterflies. They don't want pretty. They don't want aesthetics. They want raw information. So you want to have a fine line in there. Again, don't take it the wrong way. I think it's a great cap statement. Visually, it's very nice. You did a good job with it. But you're going to want one that's one page that's much simpler as well.
Absolutely. That's why, before I go ahead and print it, waste money on that, that's why I'm running it through you before I even do anything else. So
I would keep this one.
I'm all for conservative criticism. So anything I can help me, in the long run, I'm all for it.
Keep this one, and if they ever, if they're asking for a one page, send them exactly what they're asking for. Send them a one pager. But you could send them this one and just let them know that you have a one page that's without color. If they need to print it, just let you know, and you'll send them a one page without color.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, John, I just sent you my cap statement too. Can you take a quick look at it? Sergio Esmeralda?
Yes.
Thank you.
Champ right here. G-Love Champ. We called him the resort boss. How's that sticking through a piece of paper? It's just easy.
Yeah, see, this is, keep it simple, smart. One page, very simple, very little color. If anything, maybe a little bit more info and maybe make the graphic a little smaller. But other than that, this is exactly what they're asking for. They're asking for your codes. They're asking for your information. You're going to want to put something on here that says, references available upon request. Other than that, that's what they're looking for. Short, sweet, and to the point.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
Hello, John?
Yes. I can barely hear you, man. It's cutting out really bad. No, it's cutting out really bad. Are you overseas? Barely.
That'll be it. The next section.
It's cutting in and out. You can send questions through the chat window on GoToMeeting, or you can drop me an email if you like as well.
Can you hear me? I lost you for a little bit.
There you are. I can hear you a little better now.
Okay, I had sent an email to you through R-A-Z as in zebra, I-L-A-N-E @gmail.com. That should be the RSP number to pull up that video that I was talking about earlier.
Got it. Okay, and did you have a specific question or?
On page 39, column L, if you can kind of just do a brief run through of phase 1.
Well, this is a pre-solicitation right now, so there's no documents or anything attached to this one. Let me look at the second one.
Okay.
That's the sources saw it. On the sources saw it here, they're asking you to submit a white paper. They want the white paper to be less than 5 pages. They probably just want you to email it. So right now, until they put it out for solicitation, they're just asking you to respond with a white paper.
Okay, okay.
By March 31st.
March 31st. Okay.
Less than 5 pages.
Okay.
All right. You got it. All right, guys, it's 5 o'clock. Does anybody else have a bid or solicitation or proposal or another question?
Actually, one quick one, John.
I'm sorry?
I had one quick question.
Okay.
So for simplified acquisition, how do you get set up on doing that to go after contracts? Because I'm new at this and don't have much capital to spend.
Simplified acquisitions, if you sign up for the SAP program through us, we do it for you. Once you're registered in that system, they can find you, so they can search you and find you in that system. Another way to do simplified acquisitions is when you go out and you bid on a contract and win it, and you do a good job for that purchasing agent, you're building rapport with them. They can hire you for simplified acquisitions down the road. When you do a subcontract for a prime and that you do a good job, you're building relationships with that purchasing agent, they can hire you for simplified acquisitions down the road. And just picking up the phone and calling these guys and hitting them with your elevator pitch, letting them know that you're compliant for those SAP contracts, they can hire you as well.
Okay. And for when I register for the SAP, do I get general, like a lot of contracts, or is it a very select few to bid on?
In the beginning, I mean, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, so you're not going to just register and business is going to fall in your lap. It will eventually, as you build more relationships and purchasing agents know they can trust you, you'll get more opportunities that'll just come to you. But in the beginning, you want to get out there and submit bids and make phone calls, get in front of these guys.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
All right. All right, guys, it's 5 o'clock. If there's no other questions or anything pressing today, I'll be back on here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, same bad channel. If you got a solicitation you want to work on, email me a link ahead of time or something to look at it, send it to me ahead of time. And if you want to join, just email and let me know. All right?
All right, have a good evening, John.
You too. We'll talk to you then.